Gates swinging though, right? Got an XRP launch of an XRP ETF, which was the best of 25.
Canary Capital's XRPC, the first US spot ETF tied to the XRP token, had an impressive debut.
There's been an influx of XRP ETF filings, both in and out of the
What's
US.
up, future millionaires? Welcome back to the channel. It's so good to have you here with me today. I hope you're crushing it wherever you are in this amazing world of ours. All right, let's dive right into XRP because there's some interesting stuff happening here. Looking at our daily chart, we're sitting pretty at $2.25 right now. Now, I know, we had another red day, and I can practically hear some of you saying, come on, the ETF just went live, why aren't we flying past $3 yet? But here's the thing, and this is really important. XRP is actually holding up like a champion right now. Think about it this way. Without that ETF announcement, a lot of people believe we could easily be sitting below $2. So even though we're seeing some red, we're still in a pretty solid position. Of course, this is all speculation, but it's educated speculation based on what we're seeing in the market. Now here's what's really happening behind the scenes. People are looking at Bitcoin sitting around that 95K mark and making their predictions based on that. But let me tell you what's actually going down in the market right now. Bitcoin is taking a dip, and you know how this game works. When Bitcoin sneezes, the whole crypto market catches a cold. It's pulling everything down with it, including our beloved XRP. But here's where I think things get interesting, and this is just my take. I believe XRP is going to break away from this pattern. We might see XRP start dancing to its own beat pretty soon. It's still holding up really well. I want to see where it goes from here. And you know what? I'm absolutely convinced that a breakout is coming our way. I can feel it. Now, let's talk about something exciting. We're on day 2 of the XRP ETF being live, and the numbers are looking incredible. Remember yesterday when we hit that massive $59 million? Well, buckle up, future millionaires, because today's projection is even better. We're looking at a potential $63.9 million. Can you believe that? Day 2, and we're already expecting to smash yesterday's record. This is exactly the kind of momentum we love to see. All right, future millionaires, let me break down what's happening right now as I'm recording this video. And trust me, you're going to love these numbers. The XRPC ETF is absolutely exploding on day 2. Are you ready for this? In just the first hour of trading today, we saw a massive 400,762 shares traded right out of the gate. That's insane. Now here's where it gets really exciting. Based on this early momentum, we're projecting the full day could hit 2.64 million shares with a whopping $63.9 million in volume. That means we're not just matching yesterday's strong performance, we're crushing it. I'll definitely keep you posted on these numbers because this momentum is just incredible to watch. Now, here's something really important that a lot of people don't fully understand yet. When Canary buys for this ETF, they're getting their XRP from over-the-counter sales. But here's the kicker, and this is huge. Eventually, those over-the-counter purchases are going to start impacting XRP's price in a big way. Why? Because they're literally taking XRP out of circulation. Less supply, same demand. You know where this is heading. Now, I'm bringing this up because I keep seeing people in the comments thinking that all this ETF buying is happening directly on the exchanges. And guys, that's just not how it works. But here's a question that might blow your mind, and I want you to really think about this one. Could an ETF actually prevent XRP from hitting $2? I know, that sounds crazy when we're talking about all this positive momentum, but stick with me here because this is worth discussing. Remember what I mentioned at the start of this video? A lot of you are thinking that this ETF is actually what's keeping XRP floating above that $2 mark right now. And honestly, you might be absolutely right about that. Just look at the volume we're already seeing on this thing. It's pretty incredible. And here's what gets me even more excited. I fully expect this volume to keep climbing. But wait, there's more. We've got other ETFs going live next week. Future Millionaires. Can you imagine the momentum that's going to create? We're talking about wave after wave of institutional money potentially flowing into XRP. This could be the catalyst we've all been waiting for. Oh man, you guys have got to see this. Remember all those people who were laughing at us before the launch? They were out there mocking XRP, saying we could never pull this off, calling us delusional. Well, guess what? Reality just came knocking at their door and absolutely destroyed every single one of their predictions. The tables have completely turned, and now we get to sit back and watch them eat their words. You've got to hear this for yourself. Check out what they're saying now.
Gates swinging though, right? Got an XRP launch of an XRP ETF, which was the best of 25. I think it outpaced the B-Sol by about $1 million, but that was obviously a success, even in a down market. But more importantly, the regulators and
they're sitting there completely shocked that XRP actually outperformed the Solana ETF. Can you believe that? I mean, come on. This is exactly what I love about XRP, future millionaires. Everyone keeps doubting this incredible cryptocurrency. But what does it do? It just keeps proving every single one of them wrong, over and over again. It's like XRP has this superpower of silencing the critics when they least expect it. And honestly, I'm here for it every single time. Now here's some interesting news that's been floating around. There's buzz that a new XRP ETF might actually launch sooner than we originally thought. I've been seeing this topic pop up everywhere in the crypto space, and honestly, here's my take on it. It really doesn't change the game much because we already know the Bitwise XRP ETF is locked and loaded for November 19th. But hey, if it decides to surprise us and go live even earlier, I'm not complaining. More ETFs means more institutional money flowing in, and that's always good news for us future millionaires. So as it stands right now, we're still looking at November 19th for that launch date. And don't even get me started on Franklin Templeton. I've got some juicy details about them that I'll share with you later in this video. But here's what's got me really excited, future millionaires. These ETFs are going to be dropping one after another like dominoes. It's going to be absolutely insane to watch. And here's where things get really interesting. After seeing XRP absolutely crush it on day one, do you really think BlackRock is just going to sit on the sidelines? Come on, there's no way they're missing out on this gold mine. They're probably already working behind the scenes to get their own XRP ETF ready. I mean, think about it. Why would the biggest asset manager in the world not want a piece of this action? You know what's absolutely hilarious to me? CoinDesk actually did their job and reported the facts. They showed everyone how XRP just demolished Solana's ETF and claimed the crown as the #1 ETF of 2025. But then you've got CNBC over there acting like it never even happened. It's like they're living in some alternate reality where XRP doesn't exist. The bias is so obvious it's almost comical at this point. Don't believe me? Just listen to this and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Canary Capital's XRPC, the first U.S. spot ETF tied to the XRP token, had an impressive debut yesterday with $58 million in trading volume, the highest for any ETF launched this year across more than 900 fund launches. That's according to Bloomberg's ETF analyst Eric Balchunas. Volume narrowly edged out Bitwise's Solana ETF, which logged $57 million on its first day. The strong start indicates growing institutional interest in diversifying beyond Bitcoin and Ether.
See, this is exactly what I've been telling you guys. The smart money, the big institutions, they're already looking way beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. They can see what's coming. But here's the kicker. Mainstream media absolutely refuses to give XRP any credit. It's like they've made a pact to pretend we don't even exist. And you know why? Because XRP completely destroys that Bitcoin-only narrative they've been shoving down everyone's throat 24/7. Think about it. If they actually reported on XRP's success, it would completely unravel everything they've been telling people about crypto. So instead, they just ignore us. Pretty convenient, right? So here's what's happening with Canary Capital. They've made a smart strategic decision. Instead of spreading themselves thin by adding more assets, they're going all in on growing their XRPC ETF until all this SEC drama gets sorted out once and for all. What does this mean for us? Well, it looks like we won't be seeing any new ETFs from Canary Capital anytime soon. They're putting all their energy and focus into making this XRP ETF absolutely dominate. And honestly, can you blame them? When you're seeing these kinds of crazy inflows on day one, you've got to be thinking, holy cow, why would we even need to look at anything else right now? I mean, when you strike gold, you don't just walk away and start digging somewhere else, right? You double down and mine that vein for everything it's worth. New XRP ETF surges as Bitcoin and ETH funds see $1 billion exodus. Like I keep telling you guys, the smart money is already making the switch away from Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this is just the beginning of a massive shift. Look, Bitcoin had its moment in the sun because it got there first. That's literally it. And you know how Bitcoin maximalists love to act like nothing could ever touch their precious digital gold. But here's the reality check. Being first doesn't mean being best forever. Now we've got newer, shinier, and frankly better products hitting the market. And guess what? The institutions are paying attention. They're not interested in just buying something and letting it sit there collecting digital dust. They want their money working for them in assets that actually do something useful. Remember that old Bitcoin narrative? Oh, everyone's going to be settling transactions in Bitcoin worldwide. Come on, future millionaires. We all know that's pure fantasy. Bitcoin is slower than a dial-up internet connection and costs more than your monthly coffee budget to send a transaction. But then you've got XRP, lightning fast, dirt cheap, and rock-solid secure. The big institutions aren't stupid. They know exactly what XRP can do in the real world. So here's the million-dollar question. Why would they keep throwing money at outdated tech when they could invest in something that's actually solving real problems and creating genuine value? Okay, future millionaires, get ready for this because the timing couldn't be more perfect. On the exact same day that XRP ETFs are seeing record inflows, Bitcoin ETFs are getting absolutely hammered with record outflows. Nate Gerasi confirmed what we're all seeing. Spot Bitcoin ETFs just had their second biggest outflow day ever, with a massive $870 million exodus. Now sure, they're still sitting pretty with $24 billion in inflows for the year, but here's what's really happening behind the scenes. Those Bitcoin inflows were only great because, let's be honest, there was literally nothing else on the menu. Institutions were basically saying, we want to get into crypto, but what are our options? Oh look, there's this Bitcoin ETF, and that's it. Guess we'll take it. But now they've got choices. And when people have better options, guess what happens to the old ones? Money starts flowing out faster than you can say digital gold. This is exactly why I'm so bullish on XRP's performance, not just for the next few weeks, but I'm talking about a sustained run through the rest of this year and well into next year. This institutional money shift isn't just a trend, it's a complete transformation of how smart money thinks about crypto. And here's the beautiful part. The demand is absolutely already there, just waiting to explode. Now get this, Franklin Templeton is sitting on a massive $1.6 trillion war chest, and they're next in line. Think about this for a second, future millionaires. If little Canary Capital pulled in $58 million on day one, can you even imagine what happens when a trillion-dollar giant steps into the ring? We're talking about potentially earth-shattering numbers here. And this beast is expected to go live next week. Now, I keep seeing people in the comments freaking out like, if it's going to be that massive, won't we see a huge price dump? But here's what I think is really going to happen. We're finally going to break free from Bitcoin's chains. It's inevitable. It's just a matter of when. Right now, if you pull up Bitcoin's chart and XRP's chart side by side, they look like identical twins. Same with Ethereum, same with Solana. We're all still dancing to Bitcoin's tune. But that's about to change in a big way. Just imagine for a moment. Where do you think XRP would be trading right now if we weren't glued to Bitcoin's hip? I'm telling you, we'd probably be cruising well above $4, maybe even past $6 by now. We're still in recovery mode from all that SEC lawsuit drama. But once we break free from Bitcoin's shadow, sky's the limit. Now this is important, future millionaires. Remember what Brad Garlinghouse said about these XRP ETFs? He nailed it perfectly when he explained that we're witnessing something historic here. We're literally watching the shift from all that crazy speculative retail trading to serious, big money institutional adoption happening right before our eyes. This isn't just theory anymore. This is the real deal. You've got to hear what he said about this because it perfectly captures what we're experiencing right now. Check this out.
There's been an influx of XRP ETF filings, both in and out of the US. How do you view all of this? How do you view these filings?
Well, I think part of the transition from maybe more speculative retail into more institutional adoption and participation is the ETF step. Certainly, the Bitcoin ETF getting approved, the SEC was dragged kicking and screaming a little bit towards that outcome. But getting the Bitcoin ETF, I think, was a monumental event in terms of expanding the ability for others to participate, particularly institutional investors. So to me, I think I said then publicly that if people would ask me, is there going to be an XRP ETF? And I just look, it's inevitable that there will be an XRP ETF. And now I think I actually don't even know. I think there's 4 or 5 different filings here in the US. I know of at least one in Europe. And I think it's great. I think it's, again, not surprising. I certainly hope that we'll see some of those approved soon, and we'll see them trading so others can participate in the ecosystem that otherwise might not be able to because they don't want to custody crypto themselves or other reasons that may exist. But I'm excited for sure, and I think it's a great sign not just for XRP, but I think it's a great sign for crypto broadly. I will say, and I think many people know this.
Here's the thing about institutions. They absolutely love these ETFs because it's so easy for them. No hardware wallets, no custody headaches, no security nightmares. They just buy and boom, they're in. Now, personally, I'd rather hold the actual XRP myself, but hey, that's just how I roll. But Brad's spot on about something crucial here. Those Bitcoin ETFs basically kicked open the door for this whole institutional crypto revolution. They paved the way for everything that's happening now. But here's what I think nobody saw coming: the absolutely insane demand for XRP ETFs. And oh my goodness, you should see how triggered the Bitcoin maximalists are getting right now. They are absolutely losing their minds over these XRP ETFs. And you know why? Because they wanted to keep it as their exclusive Bitcoin-only party forever. But whenever Bitcoin gets real competition, and XRP is definitely real competition, suddenly their precious digital gold doesn't shine quite as bright as they promised everyone. Here's the thing about Bitcoin maxis: they never see the threat until it's literally staring them in the face. And guess what, future millionaires? XRP isn't just knocking on their door anymore. We're already in the house. But remember what I mentioned at the start of this video? There's a really solid chance that this ETF is actually the hero keeping XRP floating comfortably above that $2 mark right now. Without it, who knows where we'd be sitting? I mean, just look at Bitcoin sitting down there at 95K right now. If we were still in the pre-ETF days, there's a pretty good chance XRP would be struggling around 196, maybe 197 at best. But here's what I know for absolute certain, future millionaires. These ETFs are going to keep gobbling up XRP and taking it right out of circulation. And here's where it gets really interesting. Eventually, those over-the-counter supplies are going to dry up completely. When that happens, guess where they're going to turn? Straight to the exchanges. So when people are panic selling on red days like today, these institutional ETFs are going to be there like hungry sharks, swallowing up every single XRP they can get their hands on. Can you see what's happening here? Scarcity is building. Demand keeps climbing higher and higher. And when you put those two forces together, we're looking at XRP becoming seriously expensive. And I mean seriously expensive. Until that beautiful moment arrives, here's what I need from you. Stay patient, stay positive, and let's build this wealth together as a community. All right, future millionaires, that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you so much for being here with me. I genuinely appreciate every single one of you. I'll catch you in the next one. Have an absolutely amazing night.